Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Sun, Sea and Startups, brought to you by Live News Goa. I've just had the most brilliant Zen experience. It's Friday morning in Goa, and we've gone on this brilliant, wonderful, most exhilarating bike ride with Cyclingzens just to start the day. And after that, of course, it's going to be a busy Friday working day, but this is sometimes the way we start our working day in Goa. Cheers. Hi, so have you heard of a Zen state of mind? I've just had this entire Zen experience. It's Friday morning here in Goa, and we've had a brilliant cycle ride through Salvador de Mundo. You can see the creek out here, and I'm so happy to meet Rohan Nagarkar of Cyclingzens. This is episode 3 of Live News Goa. Thank you for joining us. Rohan, of course, the very first question, Cyclingzens and this entire brilliant experience of being able to do this in Goa, what inspired you to start Cyclingzens?
So I loved cycling from a very young age. I've always been cycling since I was a kid. And there's just a thought process that Goa is so beautiful, and cycling is that right speed where you're not too fast or too slow, where you get to experience the natural beauty of the place. So I was cycling quite a bit, and then I realized that this as a experience for more people is going to make a lot of sense. This was 7 years back. There were not too many experiences around cycling at that time. I first started off where I wanted to rent a cycle for myself. I went into the market, there was nobody doing it. And then that thought kept hitting me, this is something which is going to really pick up in the future. And so I moved to Goa for a tech job, but like Goa really enthralled me, that experience. And then if you want to be here on a long-term basis, this was like something which I felt like I'm adding value to the Goa experience in that sense.
You absolutely are. So we started out maybe an hour back. It's 9 a.m. in the morning, and it's just so brilliant to be able to do this on a Friday morning. You can actually just pack up and go to work after that. Absolutely. So the fact that you're around 7 years old as a brand, you're still in that start-up phase. So I'm sure COVID would have been quite difficult on Cyclingzens. What was it like? COVID was a mixed bag in that sense. Like, it started off everything being dead, then there was a sudden surge in people wanting to do cycling. Yeah.
So we have been focused more on the rental space than the selling space. So there was a sudden surge in sales at that point. But also what happened was, because of COVID, there were a lot of people who couldn't go move out internationally. They were living in Goa for a much longer period of time. Yeah. So we got a very good bunch of customers who were working with us for a longer period, like 7-8 experiences in a short period of time. Yeah. So first phase of COVID was a challenge. Second phase, it was a good time for us in that sense, where we were working with a small niche kind of crowd. Yeah. So, and post COVID, now once international tourism opens up again, we'll have to recalibrate to where we are working again. So it's been a mixed bag. It's been a very interesting learning experience, which what I can say, more than like a good or bad experience.
I'm sure you're constantly thinking of how do I make Goa interesting to tourists and to Goans as well. Yes. Through the cycling tours. What do you do in terms of the cycling tours?
So our most popular tour is the one where we go to the Shorava Island. Okay. And other than that, so that is for mostly for people who are coming first time with us.
Yeah.
Then other than that, we have a lot of repeat customers, referrals. So for them we have more than 20 routes which we are doing this short form tours, where it's like a 3-hour thing where there's a bit of snacks involved, there's a bit of sightseeing involved, stops on the way, but it is mostly around nature. It's not like trying to count points or trying to do something very mainstream.
Absolutely. Also, for me, it's always fascinating about how do companies like you provide an experience to Goans as well. Of course, we know that you are part of the tourism industry and providing experiences to people who come and visit our state. But I also believe that there's so much that Goans need to experience.
So in terms of Goans, I get a lot of people. One thing is, if you don't own a cycle, they want to prepare for a tournament, for fitness. So I work a lot with triathletes.
Yeah.
We supply cycles to triathlons or cycling.
You rent them out.
We rent them out.
Nice.
Then other than that, like even if you are a Goan, you are not like. This is a completely independent experience where you are experiencing something at a certain pace.
Right.
So you might have been on that road when you are in a hurry, but feeling the beauty of that road at that slow pace, so like you might be surprised what percentage of our clientele is Goan. Like and what happens is people who live here, they are like, when we have visitors, we want to take them on this.
Yes.
So a lot of Goans want to take their guests with us.
Yeah.
So they will always be coming with us when they have guests.
You were saying to me a while back that walking is so comfortable for people. And then the next popular bit is obviously being out in the water. And cycling is something a lot of people haven't really broken their discomfort with. What does Cyclingzens do to make it very comfortable to make people understand? I've got my 11-year-old cycling up and down at the moment. It's so comfortable to be on an e-bike, and it's so amazing to actually start out and you know that you'll be safe, especially in Goa. So what does Cyclingzens do for newbies?
So an interesting thing, we have worked with a lot of women in their late 30s, early 40s who want to start up cycling all afresh.
Wow.
And we have kind of designed a plan to do that also.
Nice.
But in general, breaking that, so we live in a very small united world right now, where people are comparing everything to an ideal case scenario. Like there is a bike lane in Holland, so we would bike only if there was a bike lane.
Right.
Now in India, if you see where there are bike lanes, those are the most dangerous places to be, because people just use them for going wrong side for shorter distances. but like if you are going around on a scooter on the same road, going around on a cycle is pretty much the same level of risk.
Right.
And our speeds are slow, things are okay. Like if you look at it purely on a statistical basis, if somebody tells you like we are 100 times more dangerous than the West, it is completely a lie. So there are two things which kind of stop people from cycling. One is like they are not confident about if that physical effort they can put across.
Yes.
So e-bikes are solving that question to a great deal. We do focus a lot on safety in what we do, in the sense that there's a safety briefing before the tour starts. We make it a compulsion for everybody to wear a helmet. In the safety briefing, we are like trying to push people that you have to ride in a single file on the left. Like I am very particular, if I keep shouting at people, whatever the case, that you have to be on the left. So you don't want to get into that josh, like I can do some maneuvers, and we are still like, we are focused on very low density roads, but it's still a public road at the end of the day. So we are keeping that sense of discipline and focusing on safety as a primary thing in what we are doing.
And then making sure that you give the most brilliant routes and the most scenic experiences to people.
Absolutely. So my focus in terms of routes is, first thing, the traffic density has to be very low. Second thing on the priority list is that it has to be scenic.
Correct. Absolutely.
And the third thing will be like the road is in a decent condition, but these two will be like the absolute priorities.
You know, Rohan, there are so many youth who are keen to start out as entrepreneurs. There's so much of fear associated with the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. You've gone through the journey. What has it been like, and what are the few things which you have mentally recorded saying that I'd say this to somebody who's starting a business?
It is a different level of commitment compared to any other job. Like when you are working for somebody else, you are committing a time. If you are working for yourself, you are committing to the balance sheet in some sense. Like at the end of the day, like if somebody asks you what is your primary responsibility in life, it is like you have to get everybody's salaries out on time. Kind of thing. And beyond that, the thing is, you have to be really passionate about what you are doing for you to sustain it through its highs and lows. So that if that passion is missing, then it's not something worth doing. So you have to be really passionate. Like when we work with repairs, when we work with a lot of things which we do, a lot of times they are not even generating money or like, but it's just the satisfaction of doing it, and like you. At the end of the day, you have that feeling that you have added value to somebody's life in that sense.
So you hit the nail on the head. That amazing feeling of saying that I'm doing something I'm passionate about, and so waking up in the morning on a Monday morning is never stressful. And the fact that every business thought and idea is about adding value to somebody's life is what keeps you going. So it's been 7 years. Has there been any moment where you said, I cannot balance the balance sheets, let me just get out of it?
No, not yet. There has been quite a few ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's like your life is this and you're completely committed to it. So
absolutely. So do you think there is it daily habits that sort your life out as an entrepreneur, because there's so much that you need to handle, or is it a business plan? What is it?
When it's a business, it's a environment. The environment is changing, and you have to keep adapting to the environment. So a business plan is not going to take you anywhere. It is just the habit that you get up, get to work every day, and you are solving a problem. Absolutely. So till there is a problem statement, until you are in the process of solving it will always keep evolving positively.
Going. Also, I'd love to know more about what are the plans ahead. Everybody wants to make it bigger, better. You spoke about, yes, you did start with the tours, but you also rent out bikes. So if somebody comes for a film shoot, or like you said, triathletes rent out bikes, what are the different service areas that you cater to?
So bikes in general have a lot of permutations, combinations. Like there will be about 5 or 6 sizes to every bike. Then there will be about 8 or 9 types of bikes. Now, when you multiply all of these, you are going to get a lot of combinations in that process. So we have, over a period of time, collected bikes which are trying to fulfill most of these combinations. So we are in a position to give you exactly what you want. So that is where we are. So that is why we are working with a wide variety of people's needs, like right from film shoots where we have these like fancy bikes to tandem bikes to some typical, like this movie has this bike in this way, I want to do it this way. So you literally have something similar to that.
So you're the person to come to.
Correct. That is for a film shoot. For triathletes, it's like they need something which is really fast, which kind of fits into their multiple requirements. So we kind of are trying to fulfill those. But so right from film shows to triathletes to people who are leisurely, like I do these many kilometers back home and I'm on a vacation, I still want to continue this, or I'm so passionate that I can kind of that community is also big enough now where people are going to like, I want to do this much exploration and this will be an ideal bike for this. So we are getting that whole spectrum of customers on that rental.
So what I'm hearing and what I'm picking up is that you are able to actually cater and customize and curate a bike experience or a bike that somebody wants
Correct,
for a specific purpose, right?
Correct.
You spoke about long
Long-form tours.
long form tours.
So
I'd love to know.
that is something which we are aggressively moving into
Yeah,
at this stage.
yeah.
So long form tours, we are focused on Goa for
Yeah.
on that front right now.
Yeah.
So we are trying to make a trip of Goa, like some combinations between 2 to 5 days,
Yeah.
where you stay at a different hotel every day,
Nice.
mostly jungle resorts,
Lovely.
and you are cycling between 50 to 80 kilometers a day, depending specifically on customer requirements. And the whole idea is that it is an experience in itself. You are seeing a side of Goa which you would have never otherwise seen.
Yeah, yeah.
You are experiencing it cycling. So
Outdoors.
outdoors. So we started about 6 o'clock in the morning. We are done by like 11:30. You relax the rest of the day
Nice.
in 5 very different locations.
Lovely.
So
Is there a basic level of fitness that one needs to be in?
yes, this is more driven towards people who have already been introduced to cycling. There's a level of passion, and then
Yeah.
we are taking it forward.
Okay.
So generally people who are associated with cycling in some way already.
Nice. So I'm also hearing that it's anybody and everybody who can experience your tour. It could be a kid, it could be a family, it could be
Correct.
couples who just want to do something different together.
Short form tours is literally designed for everybody.
Yeah.
So kids more than 7 years of age, we are more than happy to work with them.
Right.
And people who can manage their basic balance, that is good enough for somebody to run on the e-bikes, and it works fine.
For us in Goa, it's also so important for us to make sure that people are guests. Of course, they are our guests, but they do keep our state clean and green. You know, no use of plastic bottles, no actually disposing garbage, just flinging it out like how we see it happening sometimes. What do Cyclingzens do to make people conscious, and how does the sustainability bit come in?
Honestly, we are such a niche business that most of the customers that we see are already very proactive in not doing these kind of things. So we are working with a set of customers who wouldn't do that in any way. On top of that, places where we specifically run our routes, we, as a company responsibility thing, we try to keep them clean from other visitors as well. So so specific spots which we work with, we once in a while, like once in 15 days or so, we go there, and our own team kind of keeps that place extra clean for our guests. So that's both sides where we are working towards that.
Rohan, there's this entire buzz in Goa about the Goa being a startup hub, and of course we have this vision of wanting to attract tourism tech startups. Is there anything that you do in the innovation technology space that just makes your business much more sharper with what you do?
We have a technology platform which we are working with, and the idea is it is very easy to work with a lot of technology when you are funded well. But a lot of technologies that we would genuinely want to adapt in our business, the scale is not working out for now. But in the future, we surely do see ourselves going much more into technology. Like we are looking at being a completely having two options where you either work with guides, or it will be a completely tech driven guiding which will also happen. So we have figured out what we want to do, but the numbers have to add up at one point where we can do that.
So it's very interesting to ask every brand what is their USP, because the only way you can have an edge in the market is by offering something very different. What is it that Cyclingzens does?
I could say it's more of the customization. We are giving people what they exactly want.
Yeah.
We are not at a scale where we are saying this is what it is, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
We are like, tell me your requirements, and I will try to make something fit in those perfect.
Nice. So it's not, you're not prescribing something, you're still suggesting something interesting, and then
Correct,
you're
correct.
putting
So when we do our cycle tours, we have a tour where this is what we do, and we have a tour where this is the possible level of customization you can get. So these are the two options which we give to the guests, and there is a good enough set of guests who will be saying that, okay, let's do this way, and everybody is happy in the process.
Lovely. So I personally experienced this with my kid first thing on Friday morning. I love to do it every month. I'm sure there's a whole lot of people who need to experience the outdoors. Wellness is this big, beautiful word that has come out of COVID. And I think Cyclingzens is just putting you in that brilliant Zen state of mind that just picks you up for the week ahead, for a hard day's work ahead. So wishing Cyclingzens a wonderful, successful and tremendous growth journey. Cheers, Rohan. Lovely
you so
meeting
much.
you.
Yes.
And cheers to Goa as well.
Cheers to Goa.
Cheers to Goa and experiences.